Hey everybody, this is Dale.
And this is Eric.
And welcome to the Beast Wars and welcome to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
Which you can find at OptimusPrimecast.com.
This week we just watched Fallen Comrades.
Also known as the story of Slag and Love.
Oh man, I love this episode so much. It was written by Bob Forward and directed by Steve Ball.
Yeah.
These are some of our old friends from earlier episodes.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this. I like their work. I think that they do the show in such a way that it feels like this show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was alright. I enjoyed it. It was good. It was alright.
All right, well, I think that this is
okay.
This is just a little bit closer to what I want out of the series. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
This week, a Stasis pod lands, and the Maximals and Predicons race to reach the protoform. Tigatron comes out, joining the Maximals, but he prefers to stay out in the wild rather than the base, so he asks the Maximals to call him when they need him.
So yeah, we open it up with a incoming Stasis pod.
Yeah, one of the Stasis pods from the first episode.
Yeah, that the Maximals ejected before crash landing.
It's falling out of orbit.
Out of orbit, yeah.
And both the Maximals and the Predacons are watching it and waiting for it to touch ground.
I really enjoyed the direction of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was very clean and concise, showing basically, you know, it gave all the information on what was going on the Maximals end, and then they very easily and succinctly shown that the Predicons were also doing the same thing. It kind of cut back and forth, picking up basically finishing up lines from one side to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're both reacting to the same information, and you gotta figure that they're guessing everybody's guessing what the other person's gonna do, and that's really, and it's true.
Yeah,
pretty much the whole time. They're watching it come down in Canada.
Or is it?
Okay, maybe it's Russia, I guess.
It could be Russia.
Okay, fine. All right, so
or it could be Iceland. Mm-hmm. Or Greenland. Greenland's covered in ice. Iceland's green.
Yeah, it was true. So somewhere north and cold.
Snowy.
And snowy. It's falling, and then the Predacons are, who was it that urges Megatron to act now? Let's go get it now.
I don't remember who.
Yeah, somebody says let's go get it now before the Maximals leave.
And he's no.
Megatron is in rare form in this episode. He's a super planner.
Well, no, I don't think so.
I think he is.
I don't think so, because like Megatron is doing what Megatron does best, which is, you know, insight, chaos, or toy with this thing before like actually accomplishing what he needed to accomplish. Like instead of sending people out to go get the pod, which he would have beat them in the race and gotten everything taken care of, he decides to toy with and go to the Maximals base because Optimus Primal is in a rush to go get the pod.
Well, yeah, he's rushing, and Dinobot is saying, "Well, this is the perfect time for you to be trapped in a
trap."
Yes, in a trap. Yes, an ambush.
An
ambush by the Predacons, which he is ultimately, and Dinobot is randomly conservative and like, hold it.
He's like, let me check first.
This. And then Optimus is like, no, we've got to act now.
Yeah, for some reason, like Optimus Primal is just really, really push. Optimus Primal must be having a bad day. Like he must have had like just a really bad dream, kind of got him on edge, didn't get a good night's rest, and then, you know, he's gotten up and he's like, okay, I got to deal with this. All right, let's just go. Let's just get this over with.
Mm-hmm. Wait, whoever got to that protoform first had an advantage of numbers.
Okay, why don't explain the protoform to me, because
the protoform is the blank. They're I'll tell you what we're going to roll out on. Okay, the Maximal ship is loaded up with all of these protoforms, which are blank slates, no identity, but they are property of the Maximals. When they land on whatever,
so they're slaves.
Not necessarily, because the thing is that any of the form that all of the Maximals were in before they were adapted to the planet are the protoforms.
Okay.
A protoformed transformer basically doesn't have an alt mode, I think.
Then okay, they don't have an alt mode, but they are individuals. So why would it be important to get to the protoforms
so that they weren't reprogrammed as Predicons? Which is why Megatron was trying to get there first.
Okay.
Because they can get there and, while they're asleep, reprogram their brains.
Okay, because like I developed a really big problem with this like from the onset. It's like, oh, protoform, we have to get it before they get to it, you know, and make it a Predicon. It's like, why would it be a Predicon? Why would it be reprogrammed to be a Predicon? It's just a bot in stasis, right?
Yes.
So the bot in stasis would just be still a Maximal, right?
Unless they were tampered with.
But
Unless they were tampered with. Hey, if I put you in, if you ended up in deep sleep, and then while you were in cryostasis, somebody decided to turn you into a woman.
but I would still know that I was man.
Yeah, you'd still be Eric on the inside, maybe somewhere deep. But I don't know. But they'd have to. But they can access the brain. They can access the core consciousness and reprogram that and stuff. And even the fall damaged Tigatron's identity.
No, the fall didn't damage his identity circuits. But we'll get to there.
Okay, fine. All right,
Getting ahead of yourself.
So okay, but protoforms can be altered.
Okay.
All right, they can be hijacked.
And
a kidnapped person can develop Stockholm syndrome or become brainwashed. And it's the same thing, except much faster because these are machines.
So machines don't have feelings? Is that what you're saying?
No, they have feelings, but they have the technology.
Saying machines don't have a soul, Dale?
No, they have a spark. They all have their spark. I'm saying that the outward
machines
expression.
are property. Is that what you're saying? Machines are property?
But the Maximals believe in the self-identity and the property of themselves, and they own their bodies and their sparks.
And this is kind of like tying back into the original problem. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, plot. It needs to be because of reasons. This whole scare about, like, you know, Megatron getting a hold of this protoform and the rush to go get it before the Predacons get to it could have easily been resolved if Optimus Primal just didn't eject the stasis pods when they were entering in the atmosphere.
But you know what? I've been thinking about this for like weeks now, since the first episode. And the thing is, he had to do that because he wasn't sure whether or not the ship itself was going to survive. What if none of them survived, and the only bots that they were able to save, or at least prevent from being totally destroyed, would have been the ones in stasis? If none of the live walking around bots made it, survived that crash, then none of the protoforms would have made it. Okay. But if they were up in atmosphere, in orbit, they had at least a chance of being found.
All right, I'll let that fly.
All right.
Like,
I thought about that in the car.
Yeah,
I was listening to episode 1, and I was like, hold it now. Hold it. They just got shot down out of space and were coming in to land on a planet. They needed to save something. And they're Maximals, and they care about life, even if it's like a fleeting, like, you know, sitting in stasis for 1,000,000 years or something like that. These bots live a really, really long time, and that is what just needed to be done. And since they can't get up into the atmosphere anymore, they have to just monitor for these things to fall out of orbit.
Yeah. And that, I agree with that. I do see how that could kind of fall in line with the Maximal way of thinking, ideology, and, you know, Optimus Primal's decision to release the pods in the hope that they would survive if the ship catastrophically fails and kills everyone on board. In any case,
could have happened.
Another thing that I forgot to mention, like when we were going through that whole sequence of the pod entering in, there's a really great shot of the landmasses of this world that they're
It can't be Earth anyway.
I don't know.
There's 2 moons, for goodness sake.
Yeah, but, you know, stranger things have happened. Like, if we're talking about time here, right?
Yeah, this is
true.
And,
you know, if we're going to acknowledge the fact that the moon is a remnant of a collision from before, and Earth is the way, you know, our current Earth is the way that it was from a collision and merging the cores of 2 planets, and that's why ours is, you know, molten metal and is active, so to speak, and the remnants form the moon. That is something that is possible.
Are you saying
whether
that the
you
second
go back,
moon is Unicron?
No, that's not what I'm saying. It could be though. Now that I think about it, Gen 1 Transformers maybe it could be. It explains so many things. In any case, no, but what I'm saying, it is possible. If we go back and forth in the history, the land masses would be a little bit different because of, well, I mean, the raising of the oceans, the the coastlines will be different, so we wouldn't recognize them. The moon might be another planet or a rogue planet that came straight into the system and found its orbit around Earth. It is possible. I'm going to roll out on it because that's,
because
probable,
we're not even at the end of season 1 yet.
Highly, not impossible, but highly improbable. In any case.
Well, let's find out what's happening on this strange, primitive world.
So Dinobot's like, no, wait, let me at least check before you go out.
Dinobot goes out first and doesn't see anything on his scanners. His scanners are gross, man. He can't see nothing.
I know.
It's like the worst Predator vision. It's like Predator vision when he takes off the mask. And then all of a sudden his vision is just awful.
It's like, dude, put on your glasses, bro. Come on.
No.
It's like, I'll take a look for you. It's like, dude, you're blind. It's like, I know, but I could feel things. It's like, no. So he doesn't see anything. And then Optimus Prime, he's like, I don't know, Prime. I don't see anything. Yes, I don't know, Primal. I don't see anything, but I don't like it. Whatever it is, there's something out there I don't like it. So Optimus Prime's like, all right, fine, get out of my way. I'm gonna go and do the thing.
So he gets out there, and then all of a sudden he has a voice command for his jets.
Yeah.
Prime jets on.
He didn't have it before.
No, he didn't have to.
No, he didn't.
All
There's
right.
a lot of inconsistencies in this episode.
It's just what we're gonna have to deal with.
Yeah. So
roll out.
He starts jetting and decides to hover a little bit, which gives
Waspinator and Pterosaur
a chance to attack.
A Waspinator in particular, he gets Primal.
He gets Primal and he starts boasting about it. I got him!
And that was like the best shot ever.
So
like
pathetic.
that was, but it was awesome. He shot Optimus Primal right out of the air.
Yeah.
Is it a thing where I don't know, man. I don't know. Waspinator's tougher than we thought.
I think he just got lucky.
Yeah, I suppose so.
He's not tough.
The universe does hate Waspinator.
It does. It does.
And then
not as much as it hates Pterosaur, though. Well, judging from the episodes
I don't know,
we've
man.
seen.
Pterosaur's had a couple of bad episodes, but Waspinator doesn't get a fair shake either.
Waspinator has had a very tragic physical life so far in the 4 episodes or the 6 episodes that we've seen.
Yeah.
Pterosaur has had a very emotionally scarring trying.
That's true. Pterosaur is trying. He is trying to better himself and do things. Waspinator is just trying to live.
Yeah.
Waspinator is just trying to exist in this world and not get slagged.
So there's a fight. The Dinobot's like, oh yeah, I told you it was a trap, and they start fighting.
Primal's laying down on the ground.
They're
right?
Yeah, Primal's laying on the ground.
Yeah.
The rest of the Maximals come out, start fighting off the...
But the first thing that Dinobot does is laser eye the rocks next to Waspinator. And we get this fantastic crunching a bug sound when this boulder falls on him.
Giant boulder. I mean, the thing is, it has to be at least 30 feet by 20 feet.
It was huge. This show should get renamed Bots versus Rocks.
Yeah.
Robots and rocks, man. The rocks are really treacherous.
It completely just... oh, my God.
It squished him. And the timing on it was great.
Yeah. It squished him, and you're absolutely right. The crunch, it was like Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, where she's walking. It's like, oh, what am I crunching on? It sounds like stepping on fortune cookie. It did. It sounded like you take a big bunch of celery stalks and you just bend it in half.
The Foley. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah,
the sound effect on that was fantastic.
So great.
And then Pterosaur blasts that rock off of Waspinator and just basically picks him up, and they have to retreat. He's like, we did our job. Let's get out of here. I already had a couple of bad episodes.
So, yeah, he's like, I'm not dealing with it. So they start heading out. They leave, and then
my favorite conversation of this whole episode. Cheetor was the only one that came out that time.
Yeah, Cheetor comes out. He's like, quick, we got to get him in to get him fixed, patched up and everything.
The Dinobot is ready to eulogize Optimus
he's
Prime.
dead. He's dead. He's so long dead.
It was a warrior's death, and
we'll give you a good funeral
befitting a warrior who died in battle.
I'm not dead yet.
Are you sure?
I'm getting better.
That's like that little exchange between Optimus and Dinobot of I'm not dead yet, and then Dinobot saying, "Are you sure?
Are you sure?
This would be a really good time to die."
Well, that also was very reminiscent of G1 with Starscream always making all these profound things about Megatron being dead or gone or out of commission when he wasn't. He obviously wasn't.
I still function.
It's like, he's dead. It's like, no, I'm not. He's like, that's just the wind you're hearing. He's dead. It's the spirit of Primus. No, it's I don't know. It was very funny.
I really enjoyed that. Cut to Megatron, who is he shows his detailed planning skills now. Come on, this I like. Because this is where he just becomes this like mastermind, and for once you see why Megatron is in charge.
Well, yeah, because I mean, obviously the Maximals, they go ahead and they put Prime in a regeneration chamber.
Yeah,
or whatever,
in the tank. Yeah, in the Maximal torture device.
And conveniently, Dinobots' weapons systems have been damaged.
Oh yeah, his butt got shot out of his hand when he was defending Optimus.
But, I mean, yeah, his tail spinny sword got shot out of his hand, but the normal spinny sword is fine, and his laser eyes are fine. And
while Optimus was getting ready to be taken back inside, he told Dinobot to make sure that a land party goes out to go get this stasis pod.
Yeah.
And then
so that means everyone else.
Yeah, they had I guess. And I don't know what that fight must have been like, but there had to be some kind of a discussion. Well, maybe Dinobot is like, maybe he feels like he's responsible for the situation
because he didn't spot the...
Yeah, he didn't, it kind of makes sense. On a subtle level, but, it's not like something that...
It does, but at the same time, wouldn't Dinobot at that point say, no, Prime, you messed up before. I was right, and I'm going to call the shot because right now you're not in the state of mind to be making decisions or solid decisions. So get in your stasis pod, drink your soup.
Yeah. This is a maybe, but I think that the exchanges that come later on
that sets up Megatron's plan.
Oh yeah. So Megatron's new plan is to send the flyers ahead to reach the stasis pod, reprogram it as a Predacon before the Maximals can get there, because now the Maximals have to send a ground party. Their only flyer is in the tank, so they're going to send a ground party out. So Megatron's going to send his flyers to beat them to the punch and reprogram the stasis pod, while Megatron leads a raid on the Maximal base on the Axalon, because he figures that there's going to be Optimus Primal and probably just one Maximal left there, since all the focus is probably going to be on the stasis pod.
Yes. Now, it sets up another device where Rhinox goes and says, we need to get over there quick, because we don't know if the stasis pod was damaged and re-entry or when it crashed. And in the protoform, they have no beast mode, so the energon fields will start effective.
Yeah, might not survive.
Yeah, so we got to get there fast. So they start heading out. They come to this ice bridge, and the
most conveniently located ice bridge. It's the only one.
The only one, where they end up running into Pterosaur and Waspinator. So there's a lot of slag being shouted left and right. a lot of the word slag. Pterosaur and Waspinator.
Kind of figure that Bob Forward has a really, really foul mouth.
Yeah. I'd like to see the first drafts.
Yeah, the first drafts of these are just filthy.
Blood and guts and everything. Gore. In any case, so they start fighting, and more of the inconsistencies. We have the Maximals and the Predicons transforming without saying their transform code.
Okay, yeah. So we have So we have nonverbal magic happening, if you're a Harry Potter fan. So, but either way, Pterosaur says that we should terrorize. Maybe, I think that there was enough in this episode that we could just say that they did it off screen. Just because they did it off screen doesn't necessarily mean that they.
No. If you're gonna do that, no, because Rat Trap doesn't do it. Cheetor doesn't do it, and both of them are running towards the bridge shooting at Waspinator and Pterosaur as they're doing it, camera on them. So off-screen doesn't cut it, Dale. I'm sorry. Roll out.
You win this one.
Yes! You're gonna do the Bomberman dance.
Yeah.
So they start fighting, and...
Rat Trap says, scrap those flyers.
Scrap the flyers. They start laying out some heavy fire. Pterosaur and Waspinator aren't really doing anything effective, so they decide to take out the bridge.
And that'll slow them down effectively.
But they don't shoot out the bridge.
They just fly through it.
They fly through it. Like, why? Why would you? Because you don't know what's under there. It could be just snow-covered, like, solid rock.
They could see. Oh, well, I suppose. Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, okay, that would have been pretty funny.
It's just flying right into it, and then
flew into it and then just fell.
It would fall right in line with both Pterosaur and Waspinator.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, they fly through it.
They fly through it.
They fly through it. They take out the bridge, and then that leads Rat Trap to call home.
Not before Rhinox says, "Now that was some cold slag."
Yep. It's the second slag reference in the
No,
episode.
first one was Scrap.
No, earlier.
Oh, earlier?
Earlier.
Oh, okay.
There was earlier. There was slag. I can't remember who said it, but that was earlier. Said slag. Then Rhinox said slag.
Filthy
and then,
episode. I can't believe they let this thing.
Then later
air.
on, there's some more slag.
Yeah. So Rat Trap has to phone home and tell Dinobot that they're having trouble, and the bridge is out, and they're going to have to take the scenic route.
And if you're on the internet, look up "The Bridge Is Out" by 5-X. Awesome song. Anyway, back to the story.
So then
Dinobot's like, and just basically just hangs up on him.
Yeah, he's not pleased. He's like, well, then you better get moving.
Yeah,
You know?
gotta go.
You're out there and I'm here, so you're just going to have to do something about that, aren't you? And then Dinobot goes off Velociraptor. He actually, like, strokes his chin, and I was like, oh, man. I didn't write anything clever down about that. But yeah, Dinobot does go off Velociraptor, and then he has to consult Optimus Primal's core consciousness.
Which
And this is the thing, man. We have access to, like, the innermost thoughts of every robot, you know. There's a lot of trust being slung around here.
Yeah, there is a lot of trust there, but if this is the innermost robot, this is Primal at his core. What a dick!
Well, he doesn't. No, he doesn't have it. Well, yeah, he doesn't have his physical form. He's not his emotion circuits that.
I know. I mean, you say his emotion circuits aren't like hooked up or whatever.
Yeah, you know.
But what I don't understand is that when he's like, let me guess, trouble already.
Yeah. Well, he's like, yeah, it's like he's got part of his personality,
Isn't there
but none of
anything that you guys could do without me? Maybe you could send a signal, maybe bounce it off of something. God, do I have to do everything?
No. Well, you know what? Yes, it does come off a little bit like he got half woken up, but he did kind of get half woken up. And it's not. I don't think
a total jerk. He's just he's very apathetic. Like,
yeah, I don't think that it's so much that he's not having feelings about this. I think of it as more like this is his little his like Zen consciousness.
Okay.
You know?
So,
but him and Velociraptor,
they have a discussion.
Him and Dinobot have to figure out what they're gonna do.
There's also like a Microsoft boot up sound when Optimus Prime's face got brought up. It's stupid. So they're trying to figure out what to do.
You're trying to figure out what to do. So if the ground party can't get there on time, and the Predacons are gonna get there first, what they have to do is send the signal. To the beam the signal to the protoform.
Yeah, the obligatory signal.
Yeah,
and then it recalls. It's like, okay, if you're gonna do that now, why didn't you just do that before? Why didn't you just do
because
that?
Because of all the reasons that they had talked about while they were having this discussion. You know, they have to. They would need line of sight, or they would need this, or like the energon interference.
But
would make things.
They decided to bounce a signal
off of one of the moons,
which I thought was actually kind of a neat touch.
Mm-hmm.
Getting back into last episode, I think too much of it. And this is kind of another point for Earth, maybe. It's like if you try to bounce a signal off the moon, like that signal, I mean, especially a laser, the reflective quality of the signal isn't going to be all that great. But on our moon, back in the 60s and 70s, when we were still doing, trips to the moon and stuff, NASA, we placed actually reflectors on the moon that we use on a regular basis to send lasers to measure the distance and for other reasons.
Those, yeah.
So bouncing a laser off of the moon to another point is very possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a show called Eureka. It was on Sci-Fi. It was really great. Look it up. You can find it on Netflix. Don't start it if it does not have the first 3 seasons. In any case, one of the episodes has a doomsday device that was created back in the 50s and stuff for the Cold War that shot basically a particle beam to the moon with the reflectors to shoot him back here on Earth for total destruction. Mutually assured destruction. In any case, so yeah, I really enjoyed the touch of bouncing it off the moon because of the reflectors and everything else. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. But, I also think that it was the Voyager 1 probe that brought the discs to them. And
well, if you think that, then you might be thinking that this is a futuristic Earth, not a prehistoric Earth. Post-apocalypse, the nature has reclaimed it, and the Maximals know that it's Earth, and where the reflective discs that the humans had.
I think that they're able to figure stuff out. I don't know if they know that it's a post-apocalyptic Earth that has been reclaimed by nature. But if you're going for suspension of disbelief, bouncing a signal off the moon, I found that was a nice little quiet, oh yeah, they could actually do that. Just like, a flouting.
A flouting.
I can't. A floating.
Now I'm thinking about a mountain that plays the
a flute. A floating mountain energon. All right, so they decide to bounce a signal off the moon.
Which sends Dinobot up to the roof to repoint their satellite.
And why can't they do that, like, with their systems?
I don't know. That seems like complex math. That seems like really complex math to be like...
They're machines and advanced technology of robotic aliens. Why can't they have just a dish? And they're able to do other things, like,
I suppose. But that's not really the... I don't know. Well, the reason why he's up there on the roof is so that he can have this encounter with Megatron.
Yeah, so Megatron rolls up, actually arrives with Scorponok and Tarantulas, Arachnaros, which is Doctor Who, with Tarantulas, and says, "Hey guys, go over there.
Yeah, go over there, and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what I do."
So he opens up by trying to talk Dinobot into rejoining the Predacons.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, everyone's gone. We have the base. It's just you and me, man.
This is a great opportunity to, you were a Predacon. You loved me once."
Speaking of which, I like how it's like, no, I'm just here to talk. It's like, no. Megatron never comes over to talk. Sure, we start talking on the couch, but then he's like, here, have a drink. And then you know what? Sooner and sooner, he's on top of me on the couch, and it's just like, no, man, no, we're just here to talk, man. No, it's just no. He's pushing.
Yeah,
Megatron's pushing.
Yeah.
Megatron never just talks. Never just talks. It's bad talk. In any case.
Oh,
man. So he tries to convince Dinobot to rejoin the Predicons.
Dinobot's not having it.
Be my second in command.
Oh, yeah. He makes him a sweet deal.
Yeah.
You could be my new Scorponok.
Yeah. You don't even have to grow a unibrow. But Dinobot's not having it.
No, Dinobot says no, at which point Megatron triggers Waspinator and... not Waspinator, I'm sorry. Scorponok and Tarantulas to shoot.
Yeah, he's like, go ahead, drop him.
Yep. And they shoot him off of the roof.
And he falls down.
And then, he like... I forget what it was, but like the first thing that Megatron says is like vaporize him.
Vaporize him.
Vaporize him, which they took to mean push him off the roof, and then he has to say, no, seriously, finish him.
Finish him.
No, really, I mean, kill this guy, right?
No, I mean, no, just destroy him. I know. I was going to say he was going to be my second in command, but no. I mean,
no.
I just want to talk. No.
Waste this guy. So then, they lean over to shoot him from the roof, and he just rolls right out of the way onto the elevator,
onto the platform.
And on his way up, he tells the autocannons to arm.
To activate.
Auto weapons on.
Acknowledged.
Which is like my favorite shot. Because it's just like the Waspinator crunch earlier. The auto guns come online. And
they open up. And they're just stationary, and you have...
they're waiting for something to move.
Yeah, basically.
They're just sitting there waiting for something to move.
You have Tarantulas and Scorponok on the top, and then all of a sudden, like, they're both just kind of staring at it. The shot is really well done. And then Tarantulas just does this one little... Almost like motionless little, just one step to the side. And then all of a sudden, the guns just train on him, just shoot him off.
Yep. And that leaves Scorponok up there just... shaking,
yeah,
doing
he's like
his castanet dance again.
Yeah, he starts shaking, and then eventually the terror shakes him enough where the guns notice him and then shoot him as well.
Yeah.
And then the guns start training on Megatron and just start unleashing a barrage.
Yep. So he's like, "Well, forget this noise.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'll go see what's going on in Canada." But yeah, lingering autocannon shots are lingering.
Yes.
But I love that about the direction, like the way that they just there's plenty of stuff going on in this episode, but when a shot like that, you need a second of just sitting there watching Tarantulas and Scorponok standing there terrified.
Yeah.
To make that first shot at Tarantulas just hilarious.
Yeah, that was a very well done scene. I enjoyed that very much so. So then after that,
yeah, we don't see them anymore.
no,
We don't see them anymore, but we do see Megatron, who is fast.
yeah, it takes the flyers.
He sent the flyers to chase it. So he sends the flyers first, and then the Maximal Ground Party is behind them. So they got to catch up. And like apparently rhinoceroses are really really fast, and they catch up, and they're doing that race. They're having the great race. That by this part of the episode that we're at, the Flyers have gotten there, and Waspinator is using his laser eyes to try to open up the.
And that's another thing. All of a sudden, everyone has laser eyes. Is it just like, oh well, you know what? Everyone has laser eyes now. Or like, I want to get my laser eyes. Dale, have you gotten your laser eyes yet? I've got mine.
No, I left mine in my other pants.
It's like, Dinobot had laser eyes. That was one of the big cool things, like in the first couple episodes. Like, okay, great, yeah, great. But now, like we saw Pterosaur in the previous episode, he had laser eyes. He used it to get the better on the drop on Prime or Primal.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and then now
he was overloaded with power. He was playing with power.
Dude, people can squirt milk out of their tear duct through their nose, okay? Just because you're full of something else does not give you the ability
but just because
to...
you can do something doesn't mean that you should, and most bots don't do it. And
I don't think that they shouldn't have the ability, because in the bot world there is no tear duct to shoot the milk from. There has to be an actual physical mechanism to make the eyes laser.
Okay, fine.
The increase in power can increase the size of the guns because that's something that's already existing, it's already made and everything, and you just channel more power through it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, great.
You just think that altogether too many robots have laser eyes.
No, they just think it's penned in, man. I feel gypped.
All right.
It was something that was really cool, and now it's
Well,
cheapened
but it's
because
not,
everyone does. It's like
Waspinator-
flying in first gen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that is.
Okay,
That's,
I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like that. But in this case, Waspinator's not using it as a weapon. He's using it as a tool. He's doing some work.
Well, he's doing some work trying to get the pod open, because earlier, when we missed discussing this, we saw that, in fact, the pod was damaged, and it started opening up, and the protoform
a protoform hand came out.
And it was getting chopped.
Yeah.
That's what happens. But yeah, so they decide, Dinobot gets back in, talks to Prime. Prime goes and sends the signal.
Mm-hmm.
Signal gets bounced. This is before
the
Waspinator-
Flyers
before
get there.
everyone gets there.
Mm-hmm.
Dinobot then is really damaged. Prime gets out of his stasis chamber or whatever, a repair rejuvenator Tron thing. Throws Dinobot in the torture machine.
Yeah.
And decides that he's going to go take off and meet up with them.
Yeah.
So he starts heading out. The Flyers from the Predicons are there trying to get this thing open. The Maximals show up. And they're like, oh, back off, that's ours. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, we'll see. And then all of a sudden, Megatron shows up.
Who got there on foot?
Yeah, not even moments after the Maximals show up. So, man, he was booking.
He was fast. I was looking at this and I'm like, man, Megatron is really, really fast.
He's just lazy, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, looks like it.
But yeah, he gets there, and then there's this big kind of standoff.
Yeah, they have the standoff. And Maximals have to be Maximals. Benevolent Maximals are benevolent.
So yeah, Megatron's like, oh yeah, all right. Well, you see these tigers over here. Well, what are you going to do? You going to rescue them?
Yep.
Or you want this pod?
I will kill animals. I will kill these animals if you don't let us have this pod. And they give in.
They're like,
the Maximals are like, oh, you win.
No, don't include them in this fight. This is between us. It's like, yeah, but I don't play fair. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm Megatron.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm Megatron. You know I play dirty.
This is the type of thing that I'm going to do.
How is this not a surprise? Well, you shouldn't have let animals come into our area, otherwise.
So
yeah,
they let him have it. They let him have the pod.
Yeah.
And Waspinator finally cracks this thing open. And it's empty!
Dun, dun, dun!
What? It's empty.
Which is
Well,
so good.
earlier, after the transmission went, you saw this little thing.
We saw the probe
pop
come up and make a scan
and
of
make
the
a
area.
scan of the area.
Mhm.
And the only thing in the area was
Was
a
the,
Siberian tiger.
Mhm.
Or a tiger.
Mhm.
A white tiger.
White tigers. Maybe Siberian? Are they Siberian? Is
Well,
that
the
what they
white,
do?
the white ones? I think the white ones are Siberian tigers.
Okay.
Find out. Look it up.
Yep. The North American Siberian tiger from Canada. So the...
Oh, they could have been in Vegas.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
This is
Siegfried
true.
and Roy
Yeah.
used white tigers all the time.
Post-apocalyptic Vegas. That's where this whole
Post-apocalyptic
show is
Vegas.
taking place.
Yes. And because it's post-apocalyptic and, time has passed,
Mhm.
that's why it's covered in snow, because the pole reversal.
Yes. It's like an orange peel.
Yeah, we're kind of midway through the pole reversal, so instead of the polar caps being over at the North and South Pole, they're kind of like along the equator, which is kind of closer to where Vegas would be. It would be in the snowfall.
Okay, so here in Las Vegas, we are introduced to our very first new toy.
Where is the Maximal? Right here. Tigatron! Maximals!
We got a new toy.
Tigertron.
With an A, though. Tigatron.
Tigatron?
Tigatron. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep, really. Tigatron. And seriously, you know what? Yes, he's a repaint of Cheetor. He is legitimately like
The actual toy is a repaint
he's
of
a
Cheetor?
repainted Cheetor.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's a
kinda
Cheetor
sad.
repaint, and he looks pretty much identical to Cheetor in the.
Well, in the show he doesn't. In the show he doesn't look identical. I mean, he's a little bit more cat. He has a bit more of a cat face.
His face is different. Yeah.
He's a furry.
Yeah.
He likes dressing up.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, okay, back away, get away from them.
Yep. And then he basically turns the tide and really wins the fight.
And then-
right? 'Cause
and
Prime
Prime
showed
shows
up,
up.
and then they're having the big fight, and then they're like, "Oh, where's the protoform?" And he's like, "I'm over here."
Yeah. So they bug out of there. They
Mhm.
leave. The Predacons leave, and then Primal's like, hey, thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
You really pulled through for us. I'm Optimus Primal. This is my team. We're kind of cool. We got a base. Yeah, it's a cool base. It's kind of a ship. It's over there, a little south, a couple clicks over.
Mhm.
You should come join us. And Tigatron is like, no, bro, thanks.
I'm cool.
I'm cool. See, my memory circuits,
Yeah,
my identity
his
circuits
identity
were
circuits are-
damaged
yeah.
earlier when I was in my protoform.
Mhm.
And I just kind of like, I'm mostly tiger now, man. So I just like to do my tiger thing. I see I got a little tiger lady over here, so I'm gonna be a tiger with a
With an A.
over there. And how did he know that he was a tiger?
I don't know. Well, all he's saying is that he's more animal than bot right
That's
now.
what
He
he's
just
saying.
doesn't have any. He doesn't remember things.
Yeah.
He's not so. He does identify as Maximal, and he promises his allegiance to the Maximal side, and he says that he'll come help out whenever they need him.
The power of ball bearings is stronger than factions. It's like, hey, I got this lady over here,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll catch up with you later, man. But yeah, I got this thing over here that I'm doing. I'm gonna do. Yeah, but yeah, and then oddly, like, getting back to the fight, like he actually pulls out a gun that is identical to Cheetor's.
Yeah. He has
He has the
intestines in his
intestine
hand.
gun. Yeah.
Yep, he has the
He has the
intestine
butt
butt gun. Yeah, but Tigatron is a really good character. He's cool. He's super cool. I'm excited to see him.
But yeah, I don't know. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. I think that I really liked this episode, and I probably have more I'm more attuned to liking this episode because even though it was maybe I don't know, did you feel like it was slower or like it wasn't like
I think
super
it was
pandery
pretty-
to kids
no,
or anything like that?
I think it was pretty evenly paced. I don't think it was too pandery to kids. There was a lot more puns in this episode, of course, than the last episode. And it hurt a little bit more to listen to them because there's been such kind of like a departure from that in the past previous episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, it was pretty good. There wasn't a lot of moments where it just felt like it was dragging or anything.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular episode, I kind of found it funny because Tigatron is actually voice acted by what the heck is his name? I can't remember the name of the actor, but he also played Worf's brother. If you guys watch Star Trek TNG, but yeah, so I mean, it's just like very fun to kind of come across voice actors or actors that you recognize from other work. So, but yeah, I mean, the story itself was great. The pacing was great. Some of the shots were great. The writing was well done. The directing was well done. But yeah, what I'm kind of curious about is how the heck is Primal expected to get back into his base?
What do you mean?
Well, before he left, he activated the autocannons.
That's right.
He put Dinobot into the chamber, the stasis chamber, the torture chamber, to get fixed up. So he's out of commission. And if there's nobody to go and patch into his subconscious, there's nobody there for him to like give directions to the computer because he's incapacitated. Before he left, he said, "Okay, computer, deactivate the cannons and then reactivate 30 seconds after I leave." Mm-hmm. So the computer needs to deactivate the cannons before he leaves. Otherwise, he's going to get shot. Right? Otherwise, there's no reason to deactivate the cannons and reactivate them when he leaves.
True. Yeah.
So who's going to deactivate the cannons when he gets back?
I don't know, but I really hope that that's the next episode. I really hope that the next episode is Dinobot's in a coma and everybody else is trapped outside of the Axalon, hiding behind those rocks that like Waspinator got crushed by, just thinking about it.
It's like, hey, bro, when are we going in? I locked my keys, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I am pretty glad that we had Megatron in this episode for a real, like, as one of the main characters.
Yeah, opposed to just being a plot point or just, kind of seen.
Yeah, somebody somewhere in the.
Well, in the past couple episodes, we had, let's see.
Bloom and Kuma.
Bloom and Kuma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was
that's
the
his name.
voice actor of Tigatron.
Thank you for looking that up.
You're welcome.
So,
my phone sucks. It's so slow.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, in the, let's see. In the previous episode, Megatron just gets shot and just destroyed, and then he shows up at the very end. The episode before that was the transportation episode, right?
Yeah.
With Pterosaur's very, very
he has a bit of
awful
a bit
bad
part,
day. And then before that was...
It was the Cheetor episode with Tarantulas as the big bad for the episode.
Yeah,
so we haven't really hung out with Megatron.
No, we haven't.
But
well, because he never just really wants to talk.
No, everybody's just avoiding it because they don't want to...
Except for Scorponok.
Yeah, Scorponok, heart Megatron. He has that carved in a tree somewhere.
It's like, hey, Megatron, do you want to talk? He's like, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, but really, I just kind of want to sit down. You want to sit down and talk for a little bit?
But I think that speaks to the to the strength of these first week of episodes, those first 7 episodes, that your big bad doesn't have to be Megatron setting up some kind of major plot. These are other characters that matter, and they are doing things and kind of living a life outside, like within the confines of the Beast Wars.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice departure from what we were used to from Gen 1 Transformers and typical Saturday morning good guys bad guys type TV.
Yeah, because it's not just about there are heroes, there are villains, but everybody's doing something else. There's like this other. It's like even when Tarantulas has Cheetor, he's not necessarily doing something in the web in episode 3 to win the war against the Maximals.
He's doing his own thing.
He wants to feast.
With some fava beans.
Oh man, Tarantulas is gross. Oh man. But either way, I'm really personally happy to see Bob Forward back. I like his writing. I know he's punny. He I guess we're seeing some consistent puns from him, but I think that these were the strongest episodes, 1, 3, and 7. There hasn't been like an episode that has like really advanced the greater plot.
I think, to be honest, I don't think that I've seen enough to make a solid choice or solid decision at this point, and if I think Bob Ford is a great writer or not.
Okay.
I think Dale just gave me this weird look, like just okay, yeah. If you can see it, it's just deadpan, like you're crazy. Forget you.
Nope. I'm gonna get a Bob Ford T-shirt.
But yeah, like I don't think that I've seen, and this is just me completely because like I said before, I haven't watched really these episodes. I have seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes that we're gonna have to get to because I'm dying to find out how it ties in. Because there's spoilers. But I mean, other than that, I haven't seen enough to really make or ascertain like how I really feel about it. And I'm seeing this with some fresh eyes, which is kind of nice, like coming through.
It's exciting for me. I love watching you watch the show. I'm like, really, dude, tell me what you think. Really? Oh, you think it would work like that, huh? I love it. I love it. It's exciting to me.
Okay.
All right, so thanks for watching the show with me, Eric.
Oh, thank you for having me to watch the show with you.
And thank you all for listening to episode...
Set up! He's got me tied up!
Thanks for listening to the Transformers Beast Wars podcast.
Which you can find at optimusprimecast.com.
I've been Dale.
I've been Eric.
And we will see you next week. High five.